These WNBA players, they get more unlikable every day. And the blatant...
Caitlin Clark is the one bringing in the numbers. We watched...
Let's pause and break that down. You just heard the raw reaction, but the moment that truly fractured the WNBA's carefully crafted image of unity came down to 6 words and a look of absolute contempt. In case you missed it, here is the comment from Sabrina Ionescu that started the firestorm. That, right there, that was the shot heard round the league. On a stage designed to project strength and solidarity, New York Liberty guard Sabrina Ionescu didn't just disagree with Kelsey Plum, she publicly dismantled her. With one sarcastic comment, she exposed the lie of their unity. And in a single, blistering moment of unfiltered honesty, she revealed the bitter civil war raging just beneath the surface of the WNBA. This wasn't just a random eye roll, and it wasn't just petty drama. This was a public declaration. And for the narrative analysts watching, you know that moments like these are never what they seem. We're going to connect the dots and prove to you that this was a calculated betrayal rooted in a cold war between 2 billion-dollar athletic brands, a documented pattern of aggressive behavior from Plum, and a powerful alliance between the 2 players who hold the entire future of the league in their hands. This is the real story of why Sabrina Ionescu exposed Kelsey Plum's betrayal to defend Caitlin Clark. If you believe, like we do, that the story behind the story is what really matters, show your support and smash that like button. It's a simple click, but it tells us we're on the right track and fuels our next investigation into the narratives the league would rather keep hidden. All right, let's set the stage properly. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game hosted at Gamebridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The energy around this event is electric, buzzing with the unprecedented attention brought to the league, attention driven almost single-handedly by Caitlin Clark. But from the moment the players took the court, a different story was being written. For warm-ups, every player wore a stark, black t-shirt with a demanding 5...
Yes, what you owe us. And of course, everybody clowned that.
It was a direct shot at the league office, a protest designed to apply pressure for a more favorable revenue-sharing agreement in the upcoming CBA negotiations. It was supposed to be the ultimate show of force, of player solidarity. But that solidarity was an illusion, and Kelsey Plum was about to shatter it. During the post-game press conference, Plum, a 4-time All-Star and an extremely vocal member of the Players Association, was asked about the shirts. She decided to give the media some backstory. A backstory that quickly turned into a targeted strike. She explained the decision was made that very morning in a private meeting, calling the whole thing a genuine surprise to the players. But then, with a smirk, she twisted...
Clark? They had no idea what was awaiting them walking into that locker room come WNBA All-Stars.
The temperature in the room instantly dropped. The comment hung in the air, thick and awkward. Plum tried to pass it off as a joke, but the forced laugh that followed fell completely flat. Nobody was buying it, and especially not the woman sitting right next to her. This is the moment where everything changes. For any narrative analyst watching, this is where you have to slow down the tape and dissect every single frame. Because Sabrina Ionescu's reaction wasn't just a reaction, it was a calculated response. As Plum is finishing her sentence, look at Ionescu. There's no surprise, there's no confusion. There is immediate, cold, and visible disgust. The eye roll isn't subtle, it's a dramatic, deliberate gesture meant to be seen. It's a non-verbal execution. Then come the words, "That really needed to be mentioned?" The sarcasm is so thick you could cut it with a knife. This wasn't a whisper to a friend, this was a public rebuke delivered on a national stage directly into a hot microphone. In the world of professional sports, where athletes are media trained to within an inch of their lives to spout cliches and avoid controversy, this was a stunning breach of protocol. A veteran didn't just disagree with another veteran, she questioned her motive, her judgment, and her character in front of the entire world. She effectively called her a snitch and a liar without ever using the words. And this brings us to the core of our investigation. To understand why Ionescu would risk igniting a public firestorm, you have to look past the press conference and follow the money. Many of you have been connecting these dots on social media for weeks, and you are onto something huge. This isn't just a story about team loyalty, it's a story about brand loyalty. It's a Cold War being fought between two corporate titans, Nike and Under Armour. Let's break down the alliance. Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenomenon, is Nike's new crown jewel. She recently signed a historic 8-year, $28 million contract that includes her own signature shoe line. She is by far the highest-paid WNBA athlete on Nike's roster. Now, who is one of Nike's other premier basketball stars? Sabrina Ionescu, who also has her own coveted Nike signature shoe. They aren't just friends and teammates on Team Clark, they are business partners at the highest level, the faces of Nike's dominance in women's basketball. And who is on the other side of this battle? Kelsey Plum. After spending 5 years with Nike, Plum left the brand in 2022 and signed a multi-year deal with their biggest competitor, Under Armour. For Under Armour, signing a 2-time WNBA champion and all-star like Plum was a major move in their fight for market share. So let's filter out the noise. What we witnessed at that press conference wasn't just one player taking a shot at another. It was a high-profile Under Armour athlete attempting to publicly humiliate and isolate Nike's $28 million investment. And Sabrina Ionescu, a loyal Nike soldier, wasn't just defending her friend, she was defending her brand. She was protecting the asset. Her reaction,
not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that.
business. That jab wasn't just a tattletale moment, it was a shot fired in a war for brand supremacy, and Ionescu's response was the devastating counterattack that exposed the entire conflict. But the story doesn't end there. Okay, for all the narrative analysts watching, this is where we need to go even deeper, because the brand war is just one layer of this. The timeline of the "pay us what you owe us" shirts just doesn't add up. Plum claimed the protest was a genuine surprise decided that morning, and ESPN insider Ramona Shelburne did report that the meeting was held at a challenging 8:30 a.m. time slot, which is why few members of Team Clark attended. That's the official story. But that same insider, Ramona Shelburne, also received information from multiple sources contradicting Plum's entire narrative. Those sources claimed that WNBA players had actually been discussing wearing the protest shirts for over a week before the All-Star Game. Let that sink in. If that's true, then the meeting wasn't a spontaneous call to action, it was the final step in a plan that had been in motion. They had no idea, because, it appears, they weren't meant to. This suggests the 8:30 a.m. meeting time wasn't just inconvenient, it was strategic. It was a way to ensure the league's biggest star and her team were left out of the loop only to be ambushed with the shirts in the locker room. This makes Plum's tattletale comment look much more sinister. She wasn't just revealing who missed a meeting, she was punishing Team Clark for missing a meeting they were never truly invited to. So, what do you think? Was this a genuine scheduling mix-up, or was this a calculated political play to isolate Caitlin Clark? Let me know your theory in the comments below. This context makes Sabrina Ionescu's visceral reaction even more understandable. She wasn't just rolling her eyes at a clumsy comment. She was reacting to a blatant act of political theater from someone she once considered a peer. And for her, this likely wasn't the first red flag. It was part of a disturbing pattern. We have to look at Kelsey Plum's track record when it comes to Caitlin Clark. The tension didn't start at this press conference. During the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, fans and analysts noted how Plum was defending Clark with unusual aggression, applying full-court pressure in what is supposed to be a friendly exhibition game. Then there was the bizarre incident at a Los Angeles Sparks game where Plum confronted a fan sitting courtside simply for wearing a Caitlin Clark jersey, telling the fan, "You can't be wearing that in the gym, and next time, do better." When you connect these dots, a clear picture emerges. This isn't just about one comment, it's a pattern of targeted antagonism. Ionescu witnessed this behavior throughout the year, and the press conference was simply the final straw. And while all of this drama was swirling, what was Caitlin Clark, the center of the storm, doing? Nothing. She stayed silent. She let Plum's comments and Ionescu's reaction dominate the news cycle. And then, days later, she delivered a masterclass in modern media warfare. Underneath one of Plum's All-Star Instagram posts, Clark dropped a surgically precise 6-word comment that ended the entire conversation. The genius of this move cannot be overstated. She simply reminded everyone, Plum, the league, the fans, and the brands, who holds the real power. She reinforced her alliance with Nike and Ionescu, and in one move turned her rival's social media feed into free advertising for her own sponsor. She's playing chess while others are flipping the checkers board. The fallout from this single moment was immediate and catastrophic for Kelsey Plum. The media narrative, which she likely hoped would be about player solidarity, was completely hijacked. Instead of celebrating the protest, every major sports talk show was dissecting the open hostility on that stage. Fans, who were drawn to the league by Clark's talent, were furious. That sentiment exploded across social media, with fans bombarding Plum's accounts calling her petty, jealous, and ungrateful. Media personalities like Colin Cowherd.
Exactly what Stephanie White Lies has to say.
Well, I haven't seen C since the game last night, but, I think she's progressing.
That sentiment exploded across social media, with fans bombarding Plum's accounts calling her petty, jealous, and ungrateful. Media personalities like Colin Cowherd went scorched earth, ripping into her for attacking the very golden goose that was elevating the entire league from a Motel 6 to a Four Seasons. Ionescu's eye roll didn't just create a story, it gave everyone permission to finally say what they were thinking. And this is why it all matters. This isn't just about hurt feelings or who sits with who in the cafeteria. This is about the future of the league, and that future is tied directly to...
I don't expect her to be available on Tuesday.
Hey, she the one really bringing the numbers in. Like, what are you talking?
Money and power. Those numbers are not an opinion, they are facts. Caitlin Clark is the economic engine of the WNBA. When the players wear shirts demanding "pay us what you owe us," they must realize that the "us" is being funded by the "her." Attacking the asset that gives you leverage is a catastrophically flawed negotiating strategy. Sabrina Ionescu, with her business acumen and Nike partnership, understands this perfectly. Her actions weren't a betrayal of a fellow player, they were a necessary correction to protect the entire ecosystem from an act of self-sabotage. So, when we filter out all the noise, the picture becomes crystal clear. Sabrina Ionescu's reaction was not a petty emotional outburst. It was the public exposure of a deep and dangerous fracture within the WNBA. A fracture driven by a brand-fueled Cold War, personal jealousy, and a fundamental misunderstanding of economic reality. In defending Caitlin Clark, Ionescu wasn't just defending her friend or her business partner. She was defending the future of the league itself. Her betrayal of Kelsey Plum was in fact an act of ultimate loyalty to the one thing that will get them all paid, the unstoppable force that is the Caitlin Clark effect. So what's your take on all this? Do you think Sabrina Ionescu did the right thing by publicly exposing the tension, or should this disagreement have been handled behind closed doors? Let us know your verdict in the comment section below. If you believe the real story is never the official story and you want to be part of a community that digs deeper, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. We are already deep into our next investigation and you don't want to be the last to know. And finally, if you know someone who only saw the surface level drama of this story, share this video. They need to understand the real power plays happening inside the WNBA.